Okay, so it's a silver DPS, Pharah player. So start the game. These are not a lot of pixels. Can we get more pixels? We cannot get more pixels. Okay, you're shooting at something. Let's look at your fuel management here. Okay. So first off, the way you get up to this height is wrong. So as you can see here, you're all out of fuel. You press shift, and you get up here with half fuel. Already, this is the incorrect way to get up to higher airspace with Pharah. Let me demonstrate what you need to be doing. Get high up in the sky with Pharah. Let me actually create Eichenwalde for you so that you see exactly what I'm talking about. Eichenwalde. And let me put myself on attack just so I'm a bit closer. I guess since you don't have a pocket, it's a bit different, but usually you're gonna have a pocket mercy. You don't though. But if you do, this becomes even more important, and you should always be doing this every single time. Where is he? Pharah. There we go.
I will protect the innocent.
So, if you want to get high up into the sky, you shoot. Like, you can just do this without your shift, but if you do it at the same time as you press shift, you go really high up. And you see now I'm really high up in the sky with full fuel. So that's the first thing. You can even do it. You can even do it like regularly, like this. Just jump, like rocket jumping. Just jump normally. You get pretty high up. You can also use it to like move off of surfaces like this. You can get a bit higher. So yes, now you're dying, but if you have a Pharah, if you have a mercy coupled to your Pharah, it's fine. But at the start of the game, always do this. You get much higher, and you get that fuel, and then keep that rhythm going so that you can keep up the altitude for as long as possible. So even as an attacker here, you can actually be up in the sky for a pretty... This is mine. Yes, this is yours, Game Boy Jesse. This is yours, right? Silver Pharah. But yeah, so the first thing that you did was you tried to get up over here to spam the start. I love that. You should always be spamming this this area first, but this is the way you try to get up to the sky, and this puts you at half fuel. You can see here I'm at half fuel, so I can't really stay in the sky here. I can't stay in the sky for a long time before I'm out of fuel. So always, if you want to get up high into the sky, you rocket jump. So you shoot yourself in the feet and you press shift at the same time. So shoot shift. Now you're super high up with the full fuel. So now you can stay up here for a much longer period of time, and you can keep spamming pretty much forever. You see, like I'm still at a decent fuel space, and I have my shift back up. So now I can shift again. And I'm still up here. You can pretty much stay up here for a full 10 seconds if you do this correctly. Maybe even more. I'm gonna have shift again. See, I'm still here. So that's the first thing. You use rocket jump so that you get up into the sky. You can even just do it normally if you don't have the shift. But when you have shift, oh, I fucked it up. You get really high up. And as a rollout kind of thing, you can also combine it with your E. You can do this. That way you move forward and you go really high up into the sky. So as a rollout here, when you get out of spawn, do this.
Clearing the area.
You press E, you shoot, and you press space. And you press shift, sorry. E, shoot, shift. E, shoot, shift. Really simple. And then you play around this corner. This is your friend. This is your friend that you're gonna need to play around all the time. while keeping up the rhythm of fuel management and altitude. But yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, and you die. Okay. So first off, when you fall down here, yes, you require healing, and you know that your Moira's over here, right? You don't have a mercy, so it's really awkward playing Pharah, but you can work around it. You know that your Moira is here on the left, and you want to get healing. Sure, but are you really in danger of dying? Were you ever in danger of dying when you were over here? Like over here. Are you in danger of dying now? Yes or no? Like all of the enemies are coming from this direction, right? So this is the enemy sightline. You are behind cover here. And there's cover here, so if you go a little bit to the left, you can hide behind this wall right here. So you're absolutely not in any danger of dying here whatsoever. So you don't need to stress. You don't need to like go for healing immediately. Like it's not super crucial that you go for healing right here, right now. Because what ends up happening is that you try to go to your Moira to get healing, but this puts you in the middle of the entire enemy team looking at you, shooting at you. So now you're dead. You're dead as heck. Do you have time for a VOD like after this? Unfortunately, no. I'm gonna do this VOD and then another one after it, and then I'm gonna go do other things. So unfortunately, I don't have time. But just send it to me and I'll get to it eventually on my my VOD review Wednesdays. So now you put yourself in harm's way here, Game Boy Jesse, and you die as a result of this. So you could have just as easily went towards the right, gone around the clock tower to your Moira, and gotten healed. All good. Wait, you actually have a mercy. Oh, wait, what? Nice. So we can instantly see something here. You panic a little bit. You press shift, and then you instantly hold space. You can see your fuel here instantly deplete because you're permanently holding space. So you pretty much never hold space, because look how fast the fuel ends and how short of a time I actually stay in the air and flying around. If you just hold space, you waste fuel like a madman, and you're gonna fall down to the sky and die anyway. So always, like when you rest over here, just pressing shift and then slowly, like rhythmically pressing space and hiding around this corner. Maybe even I would actually say pressing shift here is the wrong move, because it actually locks you in a fairly like predictable upwards trajectory. So when you get rest here, I would actually be spamming concussion blast. Spam concussion blast towards the back, and then like shift over here so that you can hide behind this tower right here. You always want to be playing real fucking close to this tower. This is your friend on Eichenwalde. Like this is a great Pharah map because of this tower. Like you can hide here, and you can always peek out and like spam people in choke, and then you can heal up. Especially if you have a mercy pocket, you get healed up, you chill over here, and as long as you keep this, like, you press a little bit of space. Look at the fuel. You just press a little bit to keep this altitude, and when you're out of fuel, you press shift. You rhythmically and just lightly tap space all the time to keep. I'm not even doing it good here, so I'm actually losing altitude. If you're doing it perfectly, you should not be losing altitude at all. But I'm not a Pharah player, so as you can see. But I'm managing. Like, as long as you learn how to do this, just go into a custom game and do this for like half an hour, maybe 10-15 minutes a day, and it's gonna be cake. It's gonna be cake. You should never, ever touch the ground as Pharah if you do this correctly, pretty much. Yeah, now you're in a pretty good spot. Your Mercy also survived. Go around for the flank. You focus the Ana, which is great. Unfortunately, though, as you can see with your fuel management here, since you're out of fuel here, it becomes really difficult to spam this while also being safe at the same time. So you're trying to get this kill on the Ana, And you've got a pretty good spam angle here. If you just stay around this corner here and spam the Ana, you're going to be 100% safe while still having a full clear sightline onto the Ana. So this is actually perfect. This is perfect. But unfortunately, since your fuel is already at 0, there's nothing you can do here, and you're like falling to the ground, and it's a disaster pretty much. I guess you do have shift here. So this could also be an assassination play. Good Pharahs will know when they can go down for a kill like this, because the closer you are, the easier it is for you to hit direct rockets as well. So I'm not saying you should never get close. If you know that you can get close and try to hit a direct rocket, like together with a melee, like let's say you're doing this here, that you're doing. Oh, whoops. You're coming on the flank here. You notice this Ana, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna one-shot her, and then bam, you one-shot her, and you like instantly, as soon as you one-shot her, you instantly get out, or you press E, do everything to just get out of the situation. That's absolutely fine. But usually, you would definitely want to try and just spam the Ana from this angle right here, because this keeps you safe. Like even if you get slept here or like naded or whatever, you'll get slept over here. You'll most likely die anyway, but it's at least way more safer than ending up in the enemy backline like this. You'll most likely die here. Or not. I guess just ignore the 100 HP sleeping Pharah. What? Silver. It's just the same as Doomfist. Go in and get out fast. Exactly. You're right, Januru. So your aim, like your predictive aim, you're actually aiming at where they're gonna end up in a few seconds and not like at where they are. So that's good. That's a good start. So aim isn't really your problem here playing Pharah. The biggest issue is that you're not managing fuel correctly, and you're not making use of natural cover. Pharah always wants a corner or some place to hide behind as she's spamming, and you want to spam. You want to spam. You want to force cooldowns out first before you engage. So like let's take a look at this at the way you engage on the Ana here. The way you engage on the Ana the first time. So from this angle, if let's say you have good fuel management here and you can afford to stay around this corner a bit more, if you shoot the Ana here like once or twice, she is 100% gonna be forced every single time to nade herself. That means she doesn't have nade for like the front line. That means she doesn't have nade for whatever other opportunities she might need. If she hits sleep on you, it means that she can't combo you with like a nade shot. So always try to force out cooldowns. Maybe you force out like a Moira orb to try and save her. Maybe you force out the Zarya bubble or defense matrix or whatever. You're gonna force out resources here. And then after those cooldowns have been used, after those resources have been used, that's when you can go in for the kill like this. And then as soon as you get the kill, you bam, pop E shift and get the fuck out. It's kind of the same thing. Every time you're playing Pharah. You play around the corner, you try to force out cooldowns, get that spam damage in, and then you go in for the kill. Oh, the ground barrage, I love it. Damn. You're really hunting for blood. Okay, so like just walking into this area at all as a Pharah is something you should never do. The only time you walk into this kind of area with a Pharah is if you're like in a 6 versus 2 cleanup situation where you're just killing off the last 2 people with the rest of your team. Every single time, if it's a neutral fight, if it's an even fight, if it's any kind of fight you want to fight, always, always, always fight them in locations that are beneficial for you. And where is Pharah strong? Well, in the sky. Of course, it's in the sky. She's the only hero that has unlimited mobility in the sky. So you should never, ever, ever be indoors if you have skies available to you. And you have the skies just above you. So make use of it. Always, like, play dirty. Never give your enemies advantages that they shouldn't be getting. Play dirty. Always take fights that are like 70-30% in your favor, and you're gonna have a good time. You're pretty much gifting you against the diva inside here. That's a 70-30 in her favor. There's absolutely no way you win that. Oh, you're dead again? Oh no. That's so sad. That's so sad. Are you gonna do it? You're not gonna do it. Just die. Regroup. I got a kill at least. So let's hope you don't use barrage here. We've already got 2 kills. Fight is in our favor. 1. Nice. Now you can go aggressive. Like now it's a 4 versus 2 or something. Now you can actually press your E, go close. Oh wait, your Genji's popping. Their Genji's popping off. Okay, never mind. You actually lost the fight. No. So yeah, this is also something that's important. I wouldn't really want to talk too much about it in silver, but as you climb up higher and higher up, when you get to around plat diamond, you are going to need to be the carry. Like in this situation here, you've got an insane man advantage. You just got 2 kills. Your team is up in a wait, did someone on your team die? No, it's a 6 versus 4 situation. 6 versus 4 situation. That means you can easily press your advantage here. You can go aggressive, charge in, and really put the damage in. By your deciding to play it safe, play it slow, play it from far away, so it's harder to hit your shots. Now it's even more in your favor. It's 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3. I guess you lose 1, so once again 5 versus 3. But this Ana here, you have Concussive Blast, you have Shift. You can easily Conk Blast into her face, like shift up into the sky and rain down rockets from above. It's incredibly frustrating aiming at someone that's like directly above you. Oh, that was annoying. It's really hard to aim at someone that's directly above you because you lose track of what's going on in front of you. You lose track of where you're going. And for you as a Pharah, like shooting at someone that's below you is super easy. So there, you just engage into the Ana, you pop shift, and you start spamming her from above. That way, you'll most likely get an insta-kill here on the Ana. But you're playing it slow, you're playing it defensive, even though you're 6 versus 3, and you're the enemy Genji just blades and wins. If you kill the Ana here, it's actually even if the rest of your team dies, because then they won't have a healer. You have respawn advantage though, so as long as you survive here, you should be fine. Kind of put yourself in a bad spot here though. From this direction, right here, this is a 4 versus 2 in their favor. So as long as you just walk backwards, you're absolutely fine. And you even have Conk Blast right here. You can Conk Blast this wall to the right. That will send you left towards your spawn. But instead, you actually float here. You float into this like dead end. And then you're forced to Conk Blast like in a panic mode because you get low. So always try to think ahead. And where you want to go. Where you want to play. You got the flank though. Everybody just forgot that you were stuck in a dead end. So now you're probably going to get a fat barrage here. So some weak target priority on the barrage here. If we pause it over here. Really good E and shift to get yourself in position. But who should we go for? We can see a Diva right here. We can see a Sigma right here. two heroes that are incredibly good at denying barrage. So to be honest, playing Pharah here, not the best move. But they don't really see you. This is silver. They won't have the reaction speed or the awareness to deny your barrage in time anyway. So it's very important that we choose the right target here. We can see Genji. This guy can deflect your barrage as well. We see a Mei. She can pop shift as long as she has decent enough reaction time. So like 4 of the targets here are absolutely bad to choose, since they all have defensive capabilities that will make them either kill you or survive the barrage. So then we have Ana and Moira left. Always in this situation, you should definitely go for the Ana first. And then second, I would probably go for Sigma since he's close. And you should be fine. So you're hesitating a little bit. Like first, you're like, oh, Genji, never mind. Ana, never mind Sigma. And you like change target because you weren't sure who you want to go for. The Sigma didn't react in time, but the Moira did. Moira faded away, and the Ana then shot you to death. Maybe you thought you would have killed the Ana with the few rockets that you hit, but it's always good to make sure. Oh, okay. They have a really weird aiming style with McCree. Wow. Okay, so that looks pretty weird. I'm not sure. Maybe you've been practicing in the training room like that, but I would definitely advise trying to get out of that habit, because what you're doing now is, well, first off, you're aiming really low, so you're like looking downwards for some reason. I'm not sure why, but like you don't want to shoot people in the foot. McCree is all about hitting those headshots, so you want to have the crosshair at head level, and like yes, there are high grounds and there are low grounds and shit, so of course you're gonna move the camera around, but like in general, you wanna have the crosshair at head level, so you can easily like flick towards heads. Sometimes you're gonna need to flick upwards and sometimes downwards, but in general, have your crosshair up. And it seems that you were doing, like every time you took a shot, you were like kind of moving the mouse around like this. So it looked like really weird and smooth, which isn't really the style that McCree requires to be effective with. Since his hit scan, the second you click is the second damage is dealt. So you don't want to look too hard at your crosshair. You want to be looking at the enemy, and then try to like practice your muscle memory so that you always know how much you need to move the mouse to get to a certain distance. That's called a flick. So you flick to the head from your like original position, because you know in your muscle memory, in your eye or hand to eye coordination, that if I move my mouse this amount, it's gonna go to the head. So that's the first thing you need to be doing. Like just go into a custom game and do this on bots. Try not to look at their feet and try not to move around the camera too much, but just sit still somewhere and then make a rapid motion and then try to hit the head and then stop. Try not to do too much of this, because like people that practice flicking do a lot of this to practice, like get many reps. But the problem with doing this, like every time you practice flicking, is that you're gonna end up getting the habit to always go back to your starting position. Like you're always gonna get in the habit of going back to your starting position every time you flick, just because you've practiced like this for hours and hours and hours. So I wouldn't really recommend like doing this too much, like going back to the starting position. But actually, to start off, just do a flick and then stop. Hit the head and then stop. That way you get to practice the amount of distance that you need to move your mouse. So sometimes do wider flicks, like you have to turn around a lot, Sometimes do shorter flicks just to hit someone that's walking. You can also practice tracking like this, just follow their heads. So if someone's walking, you can just you don't really need to flick. If someone isn't doing any sudden movements, like the reason hit scans are so good is because even if the enemy is doing a sudden movement, you can usually like react to it anyway and correct your flick towards the head.
All in a day's work.
Yes, Jojo in OWL when? Well, hopefully, sometime. I would love to.
No move.
Double kill.
But yeah, that was it for McCree, I guess. Let's look at your attack. We're gonna play Ashe. Same thing with Ashe. She works the exact same way, just a bit of a longer range, more ability focused. You're gonna focus on hitting dynamites and like using coach gun to take high grounds and shit. I mean, your flicks are nutty, not gonna. No, dude, my aim is actual not good. No, not good at all. It's easy in the practice range, but hitting live targets, that's another thing. Okay, that's fine. You had already lost the fight, so like dying there, people often get into the misconception that they look at their death and they're like, oh, I should have maybe hit my dynamite here, and I should have had a coach gun ready so that I could jump to the high ground or whatever. But the problem isn't you dying here, because you had already lost 2 people on your team, and the fight is already lost. So you dying here is actually good, because it will allow you to regroup with your team, and you'll be able to fight another time in a better situation. I guess people don't really regroup in silver, so people are gonna stagger. Maybe it's not good that you're dying, but in general, that's the gist of it. Hi Jojo, I'm a dip. I sent you the VODs in DMs. Should I send in the VOD channel too? Yes, please do. Please do. I'm gonna forget about it if it's in DMs. Thank you. Thank you. And have a good night. I'll see you later, man. So Jesse, are you still here? By the way, do you have any questions or anything you're wondering about? Don't be afraid. So I see you really like this position. This is fine. This position is really good, actually. You get an off angle away from your teammates, because your teammates are all going to be going main. So you get another angle here to shoot at them from, where they might be, if they have their Orisa shield like this, then you're going to be able to bypass it, which is good. This is always good. Oh shit, that's spooky. Can I offer a dynamite tip? Well, of course, my friend. And she's popping off. So now, this was just a straight up feed though. If you take a look at the kill feed, right here you've already lost 2. The Genji's popping blade. He's probably gonna kill even more people. So you dropping down here and trying to get more kills isn't gonna do anything. This is not going to help you win the game at all, because even if you get a kill here, your team is still dead. You're going to need to regroup, and they're going to have time to get the reinforcements back. So this was just a straight up feed. I guess you do have coach gun ready, but I mean, you want to try and look for opportunities where you can actually sway the tide of the fight into your team's favor, but this would not change the outcome of anything at all. And while yes, your team does not really have a composition that fits well with Ashe, you should, every time you're playing Ashe, you should always ask for pocket. Ashe is actually insane if she can get Mercy Pocket, because the 30% damage increase from Mercy damage boost actually allows you to one-shot people with headshots. It puts your damage slightly above 200. You can one-shot squishies, and yeah. Also, one tip for dynamite. One tip for dynamite is you don't actually need to aim to hit the dynamite. If you feel like you're having trouble hitting dynamites, as long as you don't move the crosshair and just hold left click when you throw the dynamite, it's always gonna hit the dynamite every time. So as long as you don't move the crosshair when you throw the mine, you're gonna be able to hit it every single time. I'm gonna do it again. Just press E and hold left click. Do not move the mouse. It will hit every time. So it's only if you need to make like longer throws that you're gonna need to aim a little bit. If you need to hit a guy that's like all the way over there, of course you're gonna need to throw it and then try to hit it, which is a bit harder. But just a small convenience tip if you're ever in a mid-range fight. Let's see, what did you say also? Shoot the Mei first, then dynamite at her feet when she blocks. Yeah, okay, sure. That's a very specific Mei 1v1 situation. Yeah, but for sure. Does Uso work with your aim? Also doesn't really help with your aim. It does help with hand-eye coordination. It does, of course, like evolve and improve your hand-eye coordination. So it will translate into some level of skill in other aim-related activities, but it will not translate into you becoming a good aimer in Overwatch, if that makes sense. Like there are so many other factors that go into aim other than just hand-eye coordination. It's also like predicting movement. Like movement is different in Overwatch. You're gonna need to know how the enemy team can move, like Genji's jumping around, or like people strafing left, right, moving their head hitbox around, and like abilities making people move weirdly. All of that shit makes a very big difference. And the best way to improve your aim in Overwatch is to play Overwatch. You play free for all. You go into practice range. You shoot bots. That will directly translate into becoming a better aimer in Overwatch. Also, while being a good warm-up tool, like to get your hands warm, to get into the habit of using your hand and your eyes to coordinate shit, absolutely fine. I always start off my gaming sessions with like 10 to 15 minutes of Osu, just because I like listening to music and it's fun. But don't play Osu 3 hours a day if you're trying to become an Overwatch player. That's what I'm trying to say. Final is correct there. Also, frankly, I hate Ashe everywhere on Eichenwalde apart from Streets defense. You're probably correct. It's not the best, except on Streets defense where it's actually decent. So you have a lot of high grounds. The one thing right here, always if you have the opportunity to, your team has managed to push up and get some space. So this would be a perfect opportunity. Since there's a shield here that completely ruins your day, what do you have that can completely bypass this shield and also give you some pretty juicy sightlines onto main and maybe a little bit on the side here to see what your tanks are shooting? You have this iron area right here. If you use your coach gun, bam, shoot up, get to the high ground, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You set up there with the mercy pocket. Ideally, like you ask your mercy, please pocket me, and you headshot this guy 2 times, and he's fucking dead. So I would not advise using your ammo for like normal left clicks like you just did, especially not on tanks. Tanks are fairly easy to headshot, and it is important that you conserve ammo and that you're dealing like important damage with the ammo that you have. The only times you're actually gonna be using that left click, the normal one, this one, is to just finish off targets that are low. So if someone's low like this far away, you can like spam them until they die. Sure, that's absolutely fine. Or number 2, if you are in a close range duel with the squishy, so like a Genji's on your ass, you like dynamite your feet and you try to just win the duel ASAP. Because if you don't win the duel ASAP, you're gonna die. And there's no point like trying to scope at a Genji or a Tracer or whatever that's close range. Because that's gonna slow you down and make you an easy triple headshot shuriken target. Those are the pretty much the only two situations where you use the normal left click. Otherwise, always right click and coach gun to high ground. I cannot stress it enough. Coach gun is for high ground and saving yourself. Nothing else unless you're being stylish. Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb for sure. I use left click when I get dived by monkey too. Yeah, sure. Like that's what I mean. Like if you're in a close range duel with something that needs to be dealt with quickly, and you're not gonna have time to. That was pretty stylish. Now you're in a pretty rough spot though. Oh, you're dead. Oh. Yeah, I also think you need to be looking around a bit more. Like look around and try to figure out where your Mercy is. I don't think you've actually paid attention to what your Mercy is doing the entire game, even though she's one of your best teammates and one of the strongest enablers for your playstyle. Yeah, that's a rip. I think that's it's for Pharah going to a custom game. Going to a custom game and practice fuel management. Just try to stay in the sky for as long as possible. You should be able to do it indefinitely as long as you are pressing spacebar at regular intervals, just short bursts, and using shift when you're low on fuel. And then for McCree, practice flicking, and of course, sorry, I'm gonna stay on Pharah for a while. Of course, also use cover as much as possible. So when you are Pharah, try to always stay around corners. Like let's say this is a good corner to stay around. Like always try to hide like this a little bit and just peek out of the corner for a short second while you're raining down rockets from above. Like this way you're safe and you can still deal your damage. Like if you don't have to leave your safe spot, don't do it unnecessarily. And remember, you can also use your E to like help set up shots like that. I missed, but I suck. You're definitely sitting on your concussion blast very long, so that you can also use that like offensively. So you boop him back and then you try to hit a shot like that. What else? Using cover and fuel management is what you need to be working on, because you need to be in the sky. You need to be in the sky, and don't be afraid to also like ask your Mercies. Tell your Mercies like, follow me. I'm gonna need you. You're gonna pocket me. You're gonna make me the best DPS in the world. And yeah, just a small detail. You see here where the fuel starts becoming red. At the end of the fuel tank, there's a red area. And that actually shows, if we stop it here at the start of the red area, and then we press shift, it actually shows you that you're gonna get full fuel when you use your rocket boosters to get up into the sky. So if we stay here again, and then we use rocket boosters, bam, we get full fuel almost. That's the reason for that red area. So if you're around here, you can actually use your shift without worrying that you're gonna overload on fuel. But yeah, that's it for Pharah. And then for the McCree, practice flicking, going to custom games, shoot bots for a little while. And then when it comes to Ashe, you gotta pay attention to your Mercy. Pay attention to your Mercy. Ask for help. Ask for heals, and try to keep yourself safe. Keep yourself alive, and deal as much damage as possible from far away. Super important. Why Bastion? Well, why not? I mean, it was a last-ditch effort, last fight, last seconds. It can definitely work in silver more often than not. Okay, so that was it. If you don't have any questions, yeah, I meant I don't mean bots like bots in the in this place. I don't mean practice against these bots. I mean bots in custom games, like actual hero bots, like McCree bots and Ash bots and Ana bots and whatever. AIs. I should probably call them AIs and not bots, because people think of the robots as bots. But you get my point. Okay. Now, Diamond at Emilio. Now, looking at your Diamond Widow vault. Yeah, it was good that you said something. I should probably clarify what I mean with bots. Okay.